Have you ever woken up feeling like you barely slept, even though you were in bed for 8 hours? Or maybe you had a super vivid dream and wondered what your brain was doing while you were out. Today, I will be talking about the fascinating science of sleep, including what happens in your brain, why we dream, and what can help. Sleep happens in 90-minute cycles, moving through different stages. In stages 1 to 3, deeper sleep stages with low frequency, high-voltage brain waves, slower brain activity, occur. REM sleep is more like wakefulness with high-frequency, low-voltage waves, and this when the brain is more active, and this helps with many cognitive processes like memory. So this clearly is very important. There are other key features of sleep such as K-complexes. These are sharp waves that inhibit neuron firing, the brain's way of protecting sleep. Sleep spindles are another important feature, and they are 12 to 14 Hz bursts of brain activity, involving the thalamus, which relays sensory information, and the cortexes, which controls high-level functions. More deep sleep happens earlier in the night, while REM sleep increases closer to waking. Disturbance of these cycles may cause you to feel tired, because an incomplete cycle causes cognitive impairments. Don't worry, these are only temporary. So when you feel sleepy, your cognitive functions such as decision-making or memory may not be as sharp, leading to worse performance during the day. This is why you might feel groggy if you wake up in deep sleep versus waking up from REM sleep. However, poor REM during the long term may cause longer-lasting deficits, and so it is important you achieve good sleep. During REM sleep, we see increased activity in pons, which controls sleep-wake cycles. The limbic system is also more active, which works on emotions and memory. Neural firing also occurs during this stage, and this is when the brain is super active even though body is still and not doing anything. In more scientific terms, this is when neurons are sending communications, specifically electrical and chemical signals, to other neurons and they are working together. They are basically like workers. When they are working together, they work towards a bigger goal, which is helping you and your cognitive functions. Dreams happen in real time, not fast forward. Your brain incorporates real-world sounds into dreams. Dreams reduce stress and help with emotional processing. Matt Walker's sleep research. Interestingly, sleepwalking doesn't happen in REM sleep, it happens in deep sleep. Your body follows a 24-hour cycle, circadian rhythm, that regulates sleep, hormones, and body temperature. Zeitgebers, environmental cues, like light, food, and social interaction influence this cycle. Blind people struggle with sleep because they lack light-based regulation. In terms of how to improve sleep, blue light from screens suppresses melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy. Doom scrolling keeps your brain alert instead of winding down. However, in some people, scrolling for too long can just make you tired, purely because your brain is engaged and has essentially had enough, and this matches with your routine, and so you just start falling asleep. However, this isn't recommended. Using social media and scrolling endlessly on TikTok or Instagram can make you scroll too long and miss your schedule for when you usually sleep, which affects you the next day because you're changing your routine, and the brain isn't used to that. So stick to a schedule, your brain loves consistency. Further, wind down properly, read, meditate, or do low-stimulation activities before bed. And you have likely heard this many times, but it is simply true. Cut off caffeine early. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the chemical that makes you sleepy. Also, when you are sleepy, it is best to not actually consume caffeine for the first 1.5 hours. This is because you have lots of adenosine when you're still sleepy. Your brain basically hasn't slept enough. And if you drink caffeine, you will feel a relief for a short amount of time. However, when the effects of caffeine eventually wear off, the adenosine will come back to haunt you, and you will essentially have a crash in energy. We spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping. Instead of seeing sleep as wasted time, what if we saw it as one of the most powerful tools for creativity, memory, and emotional well-being?